Shalom, Rabbi. I hobbled my way here to see you again, as I did the first time I saw you. And like the last time, I find myself stumbling over obstacles like steep walkways, crowds of insulting bystanders, and the hot wind and blowing sand in my discolored and raw face. It took me 3 years, because even though I gave thanks to God for the gift of healing, I realized afterward that I had not been completely healed. As I see you nailed up on that hideous cross, I wonder how a healer like you became a victim. Maybe you can show me how someone who had been healed once still needs to be healed again, and maybe how a victim becomes a healer. I have always felt that when you healed the 10 of us, you weren't doing it just to be a nice guy, nor trying to prove to the crowds that you were a wonder worker, showing off your marvelous, uncanny abilities. You knew how we felt and how we lived our days in ostracism and neglect because of some disease that no one knew anything about. We were required to wear bells with cords around our hands to ring whenever someone was approaching us. We had to use tin cups with long handles to keep other people from us when they tossed a coin our way. We had to perform degrading and humiliating antics so that other so-called healthy people would not be contaminated by us. But you had no trouble grasping us and holding us up because the strength in our legs and feet was nearly gone. You didn't mind wiping our sweat, touching us, smelling our breath, or the stench we carried with us because we couldn't bathe in the public baths. Did the crowds that avoided us really think that we would inflict them with some horrible disease? Or did they just despise us because we reminded them of a disease in their own souls? Was our physical appearance so ugly that we were so unworthy to be admitted into the temple for times of prayer? What does it really mean to be sick anyway? Do we writhe in pain and neglect and survive in an alternate universe where we are forgotten about until other people read our obituary in the newspaper? Do we withdraw from the company of other people and focus on licking our own wounds? Do we give up to resentment and despair instead of accepting God's providential care and the responsibilities of faith and the love of others? Do we retreat into our own worlds where we know that at least we can feed ourselves, wash ourselves, and spend the rest of the day wondering how long we have to live like this? Or as we are wheeled down to the exercise room, listening to the chatter of patients afflicted with dementia or other disabling conditions, what do we really see and hear? Do we think about how we have been spared and how to search for a redeeming feature in our own affliction that gives us a measure of hope? Do we expect miracles to happen, or at least some relief from our condition? Can our sickness in some mysterious way save us? When I see you up on that cross, I see a real gift of unexpected and undeserved healing for myself. I see that healing has taken place in me through you because I have changed. I am still a leper, but not the one I knew before in myself. When the 10 of us approached you, we really did think that we were unclean, diseased, and beyond hope. We could have cared less about what other people thought about us. We were angry at God, angry at the world, and angry at ourselves for being who we are. Maybe the other 9 lepers were physically cured, to put it bluntly. But were they really healed? Fullness of healing includes not just a feeling of physical jubilation, but also the stark reminder that the world is incomplete and that we are incomplete. Maybe they failed to see the ultimate sickness they really had, a self-defeating faith that seeks visible relief instead of true personal wholeness. Turning inwards, they missed the point that you try to make so often, that the sickness and disease of others can be a healing dynamic for us. Their affliction made them solitary, and their self-inflicted solitude kept them from seeing you for what you had offered them. By ignoring the misery of the world around them, they became victims who chose to remain victims. I have come to see now that my own healing is really a function of the disability and sickness that I share with others. When you ordered the 10 of us to go and show ourselves to the priests, you really were giving us an opportunity to discover and bring life to all those in despair because of their sicknesses. Lord, touch us again now, as you touched us before, so that we could be healed again. Pick us up again, so that we would again feel the strength of your love and compassion, so that we, like you, would be no longer victims of false accusation and rejection, but healers in whom others can find hope and a reason to endure. And by that, may we imitate in our own lives the glory of your crucifixion. Amen.